Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun, so what the hell are we doing today? Well, today we're not really supposed to be streaming, but the entirety of last night was me beating my head up against a wall, trying to make sure that fucking combat works, and combat doesn't work. I hate it, so I had to fix it. I came up with a brilliant idea today, so I'm going to stream it. Hello Salmon. This is a bit different than usual. What do you mean? I always stream at reasonable hours. Just not for Europeans, i.e. most of my audience. We don't talk about that, and it's not about furries. No, far from it. So, what are the main differences from last time? What's the things up here? What's the what are the main changes? Well, last time on Dragon Ball fucking Z, one of the main issues I was having was this, i.e. the multipliers, because there were damage multipliers, and there were a lot of damage multipliers, and there were more damage multipliers on top of the damage multipliers, which made the damage multipliers bigger. I couldn't do it anymore. I was looking at it, and I'm like, this isn't working, and it was breaking apart horribly, and I needed to fix it. So I did. So, what are the actual changes to this? Well, I'm keeping the multipliers for one thing. I'm keeping it solely for combat. For fortitude damage, not cohesion damage, because cohesion damage has been reduced down to simply fortitude damage plus the attacking unit's morale pips plus modifiers. That is it. That is what you take in cohesion damage when you get hit. Now that fortitude damage could be 20, it could be 2. It doesn't really matter, but it's just like, here is damage rather than having like a separate cohesion multiplier on top of things. There's just one. It's whatever your fortitude damage successes is times whatever it is. That's how many men you lose. Boom, done. Simple. Now, what does this actually mean in the grand scheme of things? I had to change some of the ideas around behind what cohesion is, as well as some of the ideas of how things are done. But like the main idea is, this is just me taking notes, is that cohesion is now raw numbers, while fortitude is multipliers or dice tricks. That's it. You're taking twice as much damage. You are adding 2d6. That is all it is. There's nothing more, nothing less to that. So I missed the whole game. It's about walking slowly into enemy line with guns. Yes, to a degree. Well, the idea is with eagles and rifles. The goal was, at the end of the day, how do you make a Napoleonic tabletop RPG? And what I had to do was make a Napoleonic game. And the issue is, for this era, like this very awkward era, roughly about like late 1700, like late like 1790s to about 1820-ish, is that this is a time completely dominated by heliphone, by linear warfare. You are standing in a line and you are shooting at each other. That's not very fun for individual players. However, for war games, it's very fun, very interesting actually. However, what I ended up doing was one of the key ideas for a lot of these games is a lot of these settings, even the Napoleonic era, is you hear a lot about individual batches of soldiers and their commander. It's Jackson's 100, it's Louisiana Tigers. All of these like smaller units all have names and they have histories. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on, is that bringing it down in scale but being like way higher and larger in scale than usual. Like for example, your basic commander is 3 attributes and they're just randomly rolled. 3d6 down the line. Actually 1d6 down the line technically. And that's it. But the idea is that they are leading a unit. Now, you have an option between technically, where are they? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have an option between 7 different units. Line infantry and grenadiers are your basic foot infantry. You can get a lot of these guys stacked up together, and they get into a line and they shoot the enemy. Which, in Napoleonic sense, is like they are the ones who do everything. Like, line infantry during this time was the army. Everything else was in support of the line infantry. Fusiliers and Jaegers are light infantry. They are supposed to skirmish and deal enemies with that way. And then we have the 3 different kinds of cavalries. The main difference between like Fusiliers and Jaegers is they get different little attributes down here, which allow them to do things. So it's pretty much, instead of focusing on like a single individual doing heroic stuff, it's you are a captain, actually technically you're a lieutenant colonel of either a squadron. Yeah, pretty much at time to charge into a line. Like, you as yourself, if you're playing the game intelligently, you're gonna lose men. Because like one of the big things is the dice pool system. So after determining all my dice, let's say I'm rolling, otherwise known as, let's see how many d6s I can fish out of my tiny bag here. I have a bag of dice like right next to me. I don't want to get my big dice bag out because I'm lazy. It's going to take me forever to get them back in. So let's say, okay, I'm rolling 5d6, otherwise known as I have a really shitty unit. Yeah, that is entirely likely. You take too much cohesion damage, your guys are just going to break. You can have the most well-trained elite unit available. However, if they are literally cowards, yeah, if you take too much damage, they're just going to run. Because, fuck that, I don't want to die. So, like, for example, I'm going to roll, I have 5d6 here, I'm just going to roll, we'll say, 2 ups. So I rolled, fuck all, fuck me, I rolled 2 1s, 6, and a 4. And we're doing 2 up and a 3. The 6 would count as 3 successes, the 4 would count as 2, and the 3 would count as 1. So technically, I rolled 6 successes. That is 6 of my men dead. They have been shot and killed. In the line, they are now laying on the ground dead. Now, the big thing is you have your fortitude and your morale health, or cohesion. Your fortitude can fall. You have a lot of fortitude, as you can kind of see by some of the like soldiers up here. Like, line infantry, you can get up to 1,500 men in your unit. Which may say, like, oh, I have 1,500 health. Yeah, they still are going to run like a bitch if they get into, like, a really shitty fight. Like, that's the problem. They're going to run because they don't want to die. However, it's also easier to replenish cohesion. Like, guys, get your shit together. We can still win this. Easy. Just stop running. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to replace your dead men. Like, oh, hey, we're in the middle of a desolate country, and my 1,500 now been reduced to 700 because of a bunch of shitty fights. I also know how I'm going to do artillery, which is effectively artillery. If they hit, they times whatever their successes by 5. Why? Because it's an artillery cannon hitting directly into your line, and everyone in that area is dead. They are now a find paste. And canister shot will probably do much worse. But yeah, I have a basic idea. Like, the idea is like, personal wise, you're playing the commanders. You're pretty much, you know, you're Lieutenant Colonel Jackson. I require assistance on the left flank, of course. Haha. However, you're playing, quote unquote, the actual kind of the unit, which is like a big thing because how health is handled for all commanders and such is you get shot and die. Because getting shot with a musket ball is going to leave a golf ball sized hole through your chest, and you will die. Getting stabbed in the chest with a bayonet will kill you, because that's what a bayonet does. Getting hit by a cannon will kill you. But you also have other kind of side like characters below you, your 2 majors, that can replace you if you die, but they can also die. The goal of the adventure is to not die. So, let's see. Cohesion and courage, morale pips. I had to take this system entirely from fucking Total War, Napoleon Total War, because ironically enough, that's probably one of the best Napoleonic games out there, which is really weird to think about. Like, oh hey, a fucking Total War game is probably the best one. Yeah, that's never a line anyone ever said, but yeah, unfortunately. So, let's see. What was I doing? Okay, we have this. Okay. This was the issue I was having before, is that I was like having so many like multipliers on top of multipliers, and it just something wasn't adding up, and it was not fun. Fun fact. So, let's see. As the unit takes damage, cohesion loss outside of loss of men survives with a waiver and less guns being pointed at the enemy. This line is fine. Okay, this entire section needs to be replaced. So, linear warfare, eagles and rifles is the idea. Of multipliers in fortitude damage. Actually, we'll call it that. Yeah, we'll call it the intensity. So is the idea of the intensity scale. Is add more tactics. Brought out. Multiplier of fortitude damage begins to increase. Now let's see, this is tracked. Whereas a single step doubles all damage while 3-step quadruples it. So we want to put this right here. This goes up to a it would be quintuple. of quintupling damage. This would be 4 steps total. Reach any excessive steps are converted into free successes. And a free success into a free success against the unit, which is technically, if you hit quintuple damage, you roll a success. Technically, it's 5 successes, which can be very bad when you get the idea of that's 5 cohesion loss, which is pretty not a huge amount, but it adds up. That's also 5 men dying. If you roll, say, let's say 6 successes at that point, you've lost 30 men, just gone in an instant. Just been evaporated. Because that's what linear warfare is about. Linear warfare is not fun. It is not an exciting time for anyone. People are dying. And it's very easy to roll 6 successes near the end there, especially in melee combat. People will break in melee combat. To quintupling them. So we want to scrap this. We want to scale. Let's take this. So we need to add in. How do we want to word this? Okay, I'll do 100. One tracking different. Yeah, actually, fortitude damage. Be tracked in additional dice. And the intensity scale. While cohesion damage will be a flat modifier value. Would be a flat modifier added to the final amount. The unit will break before they die. Which I will probably have to address. Like, what if I have, like, an insanely low amount of men? But we're not going to address that now. We'll have to address that later. In addition to die. Actually, with additional dice. We want to delete 5 rows. Okay. I was actually happy with the initiative system in this game, because pretty much it's light infantry, foot infantry, cavalry, then artillery. That's it. And then we have just add up whatever your score is. I could have made it complex. I didn't, because fuck that. Fuck that entirely. Let's see. Actually, do I really need to do this? No. Actually, we're going to do orders. Once commander's turn, they may issue an order to their unit, which they will carry out. Commander will always use expend stamina to perform additional orders. Some actions also take stamina to perform attack, breather, change formation, change firing stance. I am not happy with the change firing stance. However, the idea, what I want to get across is that free fire pretty much free fire is just everyone kind of shooting wildly. You know, pick your own targets, while grand fire was everyone shoots at once, but you can't shoot next turn. Actually, you cannot use the but cannot firearms until the start of next turn, because pretty much the idea is you're reloading. You can't fire back until the end of next turn. Volley fire unit fires normally. So let's see, plus 2d6 to all fire checks. Increased hit. Restores 1d2 stamina. All damage is doubled until next turn. Increased intensity. Intensity of damage by 1 step. Which does mean you can lose a lot of men very quickly if you're silly. Engage in melee combat with the enemy. Have it the same. I'm gonna use... I still don't know how I want to do battlefields, but I'm gonna be using... tentatively speaking, I'm gonna be using this using the hex system. Hexes work. Hex is easy. Moving the current maneuver is probably used for this order. Reorganize. Actually, what we're going to do, reorganize, rally his men. Yeah, actually 3-1. Anything above a 3 increases cohesion by 1. Each major adds an additional 1d6 to the check. So you're never going to have like an excessive amount of health, hopefully. That's the... People are pinging, people are pinging. Ping pong. The animation makes me sad. It's a happy kind of sad. Let's see. Actually, if attacked, intensity by 1 step, plus 5 to cohesion damage. So what we're also going to be doing is adding in the commander turn. So for the commander action, not the order, before or after the order is given, a commander may take a personal action. You take a personal action to determine where they are. Now they are approaching the situation before them. If a commander is in danger, whenever the unit is attacked, the commander rolls 3d6. Actually would be body. Actually, yeah. Rolls 3d6. Well, if all values are odd, so pretty much 1, 3, or 5, if all values are odd, the commander has been shot and killed. So pretty much it's a flat, not quite 50-50, but not... You will die. You will die if you are not prepared. And you will never be prepared, because dying sucks. News at 11. Oh god, something's in my eye. And people are pinging me for some reason. Why are you the way that you are? Okay, let's see. So we want to do commander actions. The commander has been shot and killed. The next major will become the new commander and guide the troops. Actually, the unit takes the commander's morale times. Makes the commander's morale times 2. Morale slash social times 2. I said, oh, no multipliers here. This is just a formality. Takes the commander's morale slash social times 2. Then 2 incohesion damage. I.e., if you're really popular, things are going to go worse. Because you're going to immediately lose your bet. You're going to lose a shit ton of cohesion. Let's see, the next major. Take control of. I'll take control of the unit. A major will then take control of the unit. So I'm going to take a personal action. So we want to do change location. Actually, no, we want to we'll do lead from the front, lead from the rear, rally the troops, bark orders, celebrate victory. Order, bark encouragement. And let's see, lead from the front, lead from the rear, rally the troops, bark encouragement. What would be another commander? Actually, no, we'll keep it with this. Commander actions aren't supposed to be super extensive, because the idea is that it's just the commander. Heading 3, actually. Yeah, heading 3, heading 3, heading 3. Lead from the front. Encouragement. Yelling at their men to rally. Increasing cohesion. Increasing cohesion, actually. Yelling at their men. About their glorious victory. And the success that will surely come. Commander rolls 2d6 and restores that. Actually, depending on the current morale, actually current cohesion. Depending on the current cohesion, different effects will occur. Eager. Next check the unit makes. Unit makes has a plus 2d6 to it. Chevy. It's eager, shaken, broken, shattered. Commander restores morale slash social by times 2. Restores modifying social cohesion. Unit. broken. Nothing occurs at this point. Nothing. And if you attempt to bargain, actually what I should say. The commander restores morale / social cohesion to the unit. Restores morale / social cohesion to, actually, the commander rolls DC 3-1. DC, actually it'd be, well, we'll call 4-1 / social. Each success increases unit cohesion by 1. Pretty much, if things are going bad, barking encouragement at them is not going to really do anything. It is not. So, actually lead from the front. The commander takes next to their soldiers in the heat of battle. The commander's morale / social reduces incoming cohesion damage. Damage by the amount. The commander is in danger. From the attack. +1, actually what I should say, +2 for each major. Actually, +1 for each major. 2. +1d6 for each major. +3 for each major. Pretty much, you want to keep your majors alive. Actually, it takes them to control the unit. Let's see. This is in danger from attacks from the front. This is in danger from attacks. The commander takes a rearward position to defend himself and the others of their command staff. They are not considered in danger, except from flanks. Attempts to rally a broken or shattered troop. Roll DC 4-2. Actually, it would be 2 successes. Actually, we'll do 4-3. Morale / social. Roll 4-3. DC 4-3 morale / social. troops to one cohesion at broke to one cohesion. Roll DC 2-1. Fire. It'd be mental, I believe. Mental. To 1 cohesion. Every success is a fortitude damage, because you're pretty much shooting your friends in the back to get them to actually rally. To 2 successes, cohesion. Or shock/physical. Yeah, this is literally the start killing your own troops to get them to fucking rally. It is not the delicate way of doing things, and does not make you more popular. Definitely not, but it does definitely get them motivated. Let's see, is there anything else? Surviving majors. We're at a plus 1d6 to do these checks. Then we have formation. I actually gutted formations pretty heavily. Double bonus from cover. Take double fortitude damage. Nope. Take plus 2d. Nope. We want to take. Actually, it would be reduce DC to hit for shock attacks to 1. Actually, take double fortitude damage. Increase intensity. Increase intensity from shock attacks by 1. By 1. Intensity from cavalry shock attacks by 1. Be doing so cavalry shock attacks will increase the intensity scale by 2. We should increase this to 2. Yay, Commissioner roleplay. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta gat your friends in the back. Gain 2 maneuver. Let's see. Increase intensity. How do we want to do this? Okay. All fire attacks against the unit have negative 3d6 to their check. Why? Because you were like, one of the difficulties of being one of the advantages of being a skirmisher is that you're not really. Actually, what I should do is I should remove the fire checks here, the fire check bonus. But like, the idea is that you are skirmishing, you're harder to hit, actually just like get shot at, because you're kind of spread out a lot more. It's a little bit more difficult. However, if you do get hit by like cavalry, you're probably going to get fucked. You are going to get absolutely destroyed. But if you're smart, that won't happen. So lose 2d6 to all fire checks. All fire checks gain plus 2d6. Cavalry loses all charge bonuses. It takes double fortitude damage. Actually, in cavalry increases. Increase the intensity for cavalry attacking the unit by 2. Fire attacks against the unit, which can be very deadly, cannot move from location, cannot be flanked. So the idea is that you form square, you aren't really moving, one of the big issues is that you aren't really firing all that well. Like, as long as you have, like, the most basic idea of being able to, like, shoot, you should be fine. However, that's kind of the issue. Actually, we want to do intensity. Intensity of all attacks by 1. And we're instead going to make this column the column into +2, so that would make most people are going to be moved in 3 to 4. Most infantry. All right, yeah. Column good. Boost ranks, spread across, trot ready, react at moments notice, charge +X for shock check. Yeah, it was actually kind of hard finding cavalry stuff because most cavalry tactics during the time was charge directly into the enemy and pray. Don't worry, guys. The cuirassiers will definitely break them. This will definitely not go wrong at all. And if you think it will go wrong, you're wrong. Oh, what else do I need to do exactly? Oh, yes, I forgot. The battlefield. Battlefield. Field of battle. Split up into... Actually, I'm curious. Acre size. What's that in square kilometers? What's that in square meters? What would be, what do we want? Square meter, hectares. Okay, hectares. That's the hectares to KM2. Okay, now this is where things get a lot more complicated because Boomer Notepad does not know his. Oh no, it's not square kilometers. We want to do hectare square kilometers. Because acre in my head makes the most sense. If we do the idea of hectares. Hectare isn't actually that big. Like, this is one of the hardest parts about this actual thing, because how many things can a unit fit in a area? Because originally, one of the ideas I actually had, now this is where things get really wacky, it was heavily debated at one point that I just say fuck it and just do it like, yeah, you're moving like 3 inches in one direction, you're moving 2 in, just embrace the war game roots. But that has its own upsides and downsides. A lot more downsides than anything. Okay, so the field of battle split up into, do we want to do hexes? It's split up into hexes. Where a squadron or infantry battalion can have. Infantry battalion can inhabit. Because if we Wow, that is a fucking flawless. What? So if we use the idea of the hex, if we just increase that up to 60. So, okay, that means, all right, can inhabit while in formation, unit will stretch from one corner of hex to another, representing their firing angle. Actually, no. Ah, God. If I want to go anal, when I get to the, like, secondary rules, I'll put that in. I think when I put the secondary rules, I'll put the concept of, like, hey, yeah, you can just get buggle ducked by, just get fucked by, people like that. So, infantry, a squadron of infantry battalion can have it. Actually, what we should do is covers two. Actually, it would be covers 3 hexes because it would be covers 3 hexes worth of space. One hex, yeah. Where a squadron infantry battalion can have it. A unit can maneuver through the hexes. So if we were doing a hex grid, actually can use their maneuver to move through the hexes. However, they cannot move along the tips of hexes. They cannot move along the tips of hexes. The idea is that you can't go to the very top of a hex and then move into the one right above it. No, you have to go to the side one. Kind of representing, like, you're going around, like, you're moving forward. That's, like, in lore, quote unquote. That's what you're doing. However, we'd probably want to do side hexes at that point. Yeah, okay, because if we use, like, a basic hex grid, yeah, basic hex grid, I don't really have to worry about that, actually. Unit can use it, move through hex terrain each hex represents. And actually, what I can do, because I am a genius and I've already written a system like this, where are you, iron caskets? Where is it? Where is it? Iron caskets. I'll use steel casket because I'm boring. Section called spaces. Each space is transient space length. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy all of this. I never knew that was actually there. But cool. So we want to move here. We want to go to Eagles and Rifles. It's always hard to, like, really get across the idea of, like, this is hostile terrain. It's like one of those things, like, I can see it, And if you say this is hostile terrain, everyone else would be able to kind of understand it. But it's also hard to like nail down exactly like this is what hostile terrain is. Like, Fields of Chaos, the battlefield is the same. So what we want to do, you can actually just call it fucking Field of Chaos because it works. So no battlefield is the same. 100 hills. That's those section called spaces. Each space has a terrain type. It may contain unique features that are controlled for a benefit. Multiple features cannot take up. Allow the unit to become concealed. Actually, certain spaces allow the unit to become concealed, which disallows units, which disallows other units from firing upon them unless they are within two spaces, or the unit has been spotted already. Other locations offer cover. While in cover, the unit reduces the number of successes an enemy unit inflicts before the intensity modifier kicks in. So we'll put a footnote here. So footnote, for example, being in light cover, offers cover while in cover unit. Light cover. So light cover reduces the successes by 2. Heavy cover by 4, and heavy cover by 4. Cover does not affect damage taken in melee or by artillery. Because, fun fact, kids, if you can't find them, if you can't see them, and you know they're in cover, the best option to do is to shell the place. Leave nothing standing, because they'll probably be dead as well. Cover does not affect melee or damage taken in melee or range. So what we're going to do is put a footnote in footnote. For example, under heavy fire, a unit has an intensity of 4 against them. Taking quintuple damage. However, since they are in heavy cover, the 5 successes, which would normally do 20 damage, only does 5. The 5 successes, which would normally do 20 damage, will be reduced to 1 success, and 5 damage. A heavily outnumbered unit can survive if they are in cover. However, not everything can be there. Skirmishers and skirmishers and chasers are able to move through difficult terrain. Cavalry are able to move through difficult terrain. Actually, certain terrain. Maintain a cohesive unit. A cohesive unit in formation. While in these spaces, the unit cannot go into different formations, and are considered to be at intensity 2. So I want to get the idea across that you do not want to go into places that you are not built for. Do not go into whatever you do. Do not go into the place that is going to kill you. Like, hey, maybe we should go into this forest. No, you shouldn't go into the forest. Forest bad. Forest will kill you. Forest will kill you and your family. It is fucking Darkwood all over again. Don't believe the forest. Forest bad. Forest kill you. So, actually, we don't need you anymore. Base terrain types. Inside this space. The unit inside this space is considered to be cover. Difficult terrain. Actually, we're going to call it non-formation terrain. Reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. Rolling hills make for suitable cover and the ability to break line of sight with ease, but the terrain makes it difficult to traverse. So what we want to do is reduce by 1 to a minimum of 1. Yeah. So what we want to do is 2 to a minimum of 1. Until spotted. Non-formation terrain counts as heavy cover. That's plus 1 stamina. Costs 1 stamina. Charging costs 1 stamina. Costs 1 stamina per space moved, per marsh space moved through. And charging costs 1 per hills space moves through. Then that does count technically as the final hill. So if you charging up a hill is bad. Fun fact. does kind of hurt. Mountains suck. And then thin air hazardous conditions for infantry and civilian alike. That's just conditions for any army. Wetlands are always a problem for a military force. We'll probably move through quickly, or risk being spotted and cut down. Let's see. Difficult to fully maneuver through. Actually, a general's dream. Is appropriate. So let's see. Actually, what I should. Where is it? Eagles and rifles. Some trains make it possible. Formation cannot go in different formations. Can be at intensity 2. Skirmish formation ignores this rule. The idea being, you're skirmishers. You are literally designed to do this. Being a skirmisher inside of an area like this is very good, because you are able to very quickly. Actually, let me see. The unit takes 1 stamina to switch formation. Yeah, you're very, you can quickly go in and out of various problems, and you're not taking damage because you're taking cover. You're in things that you should be. That is your ideal situation. So let's see. Let's take the base terrain types. See, Napoleon. Actually, what I should do is Napoleonic urban warfare. Yep. Doesn't actually look like it, so I'm not gonna take this. I'm gonna ignore that. So terrain infrastructure, gravel roads. So obviously we don't have to worry about airfields. No. So let's see, roads. I'll maneuver. All unit maneuver. Unit maneuvers. Maneuver is all units maneuver. is at +1. Actually, we'll do +2. Is at +1. Countryside. The average road or an average place. Bad. Makes for rough traveling. But simple enough for a soldier. Who needs roads? Yeah, let's see. Roads are for those who can afford them. So terrain infrastructure works. We want to change that to railway, so I don't forget. Terrain hostility. I want to add in terrain difficulty. Yes, actually, I am. So what we're going to do here instead is I'm trying to actually, man, I don't think I need terrain hostility. Chris cleared a bunker allowing infantry squad. Actually, what I am going to put is trench. Unit is inhabiting a natural or constructed trench. Constructed trench. Considered in heavy cover. And all fire attacks against them are at -2d6. Abandoned, nearly destroyed. Bar, it's barn. A group is considered concealed if actually a unit and are in the space. Roll 1d. And Overwatch point. The crew has found a hideaway. Actually, we need to find actually supply point. Either a friendly, abandoned, or hostile supply point, allowing them to take any additional resources for themselves or the army, regaining +2d6 cohesion. Why? Because you have literally found things that are cool and you like. So what would be some other important lines? Oh, yeah. Ford. Actual ford in the river. Cross without suffering. Actually, that does remind me. D, A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q. Water. It's into boots. Everywhere. Whether it be a lake, river, or any other shallow body of water. Then we're actually going to set. I'm going to actually have. It is going to be formation, but it's going to be maneuver is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. Units intensity is increased by 1. Intensity is increased by 1 because it just sucks. And that does remind me I should put in. Oh, I'll put in another one. Stone wall. Occasion with a thick stone wall up to their waists. While not perfect, it does provide light cover. It does provide light cover. Probably add one more. What other would be another good one to add as a sample strategic feature? We can probably add in. Battlefield. So personally speaking, I enjoy hex-based combat due to the ability to be more freely maneuver. This is around what? Go away, battlefield sizes. What I should say. About 1 acre, easy enough. Ion, so about actually 1 acre. If we do 1 acre to kilometers, square kilometers is about fuck all. So actually, battlefield. Ooh. Be about 2 square kilometers. So if we do 2 square kilometers, actually no, we want 2 square kilometers, and then that would be. Actually, no, we want to switch that around. 2 square kilometers. We can probably just bullshit this. Or I can just ignore it. Go away. We don't really have to worry about popping the top. But I should throw in I am probably going to throw in a side note, though, about actually scouting and recon. Incredibly goddamn lazy. Recon was an important aspect of warfare in this period. Relying on light cavalry skirmishers to scout the area and discover the enemy before they discovered them. If the commander wishes, They may send a detachment of their own men, reducing fortitude by that amount. By, we'll say, about 5 to 20, reducing fortitude to search for the enemy. For every 5 deployed. Actually, if discovered, from concealment or revealed to the players. If they don't return, they are most likely dead. Not really going to throw in too hardcore rules because it's one of those things you kind of have to do beforehand. Side note. And defensive points. When inhabiting a barricade, defensive points. The unit inhabiting it. Actually, I don't even think I really need to add these. My little shitty map I drew. There we go. All right. Actually, we just need to add water here, so that's what I'm going to do. Copy. Copy. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here for today. This was a kind of a last second, oh God, nothing is working. Oh God, oh God, oh God, help stream. But that does mean combat is done. Combat has been fixed up and we should be good to move on with things tomorrow. And when we move on to things tomorrow, we should be able to... My goal, let's see. Wait, no. That's not what I'm looking at. Nope, that's not it either. Playing the game. Where is the preface? Where did my preface go, damn it? Preface. So we're going to do the equipment section tomorrow into campaigns. If we're lucky enough, I can wrap up the equipment section entirely by tomorrow. And then, let's see, tomorrow would be Wednesday. So we can do campaigns and advancement on Friday. And I may be able just to wrap all this up in one Notepad must die. I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal. But we crossed the hump. And that's all that really matters. Still debating on whether or not I want to do a Curious Case this weekend. I did discover a few new things. So if we do, let's see. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. So I did find 2 new things, actually. A few new things, and while I have you all as a captive audience. So this is the Curious Case schedule. Things I want to do. I did find this. Our Hearts Intertwined is a PBTA game based off Kingdom Hearts. I thought that was kind of weird. It is a weird game, mostly because of the pitch. Hixund Draconis is a weird furry game. That's something we're going to have to go through. I remember that one. Where was the other one that I put in? Oh, yeah. I found the Kingdom Hearts. This is straight up Kingdom Hearts TTRPG. Not terrible. Interesting. I've gotten another request to do the fucking Ruby RPG. So that'll be something we have to deal with. And I'm going to try to see if I can't find the Starship Troopers game, which is based off the book, but based off the movie. Very weird. And one day we'll do Bella Maga. One day. Bella Maga's hilarious and everyone loves it. But yep, that's what's it. If I were to do one, it would probably be either where is it? Either the PBTA one, which I would probably do at this point, Fellowship, Glitter Hearts, move on to Institutional, because I think that was a weird little game, and I kind of want to investigate more about that guy, because he seems like a weird dude. But kind of dependent. And as always, if anyone finds anything weird, hit me up. I will see what I can find. Mostly because I did get my hands on something a little bit weird today. Just a smidge weird. Because I can't escape this. God help me. God help me. I want off. I want off the ride. So thank you all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed, good luck, and I'll catch you.